Welcome back to CCL. We're off the back of an insane upset. SLU now sitting in losers, having to play UCLA. This is something I would have drawn up to be something like more of a grand finals matchup, but we're seeing it a lot earlier, all the way in losers round 5. What are you thinking about this, AJ?
Yeah, I'm thinking much the same. I would never have expected to see these players in the losers bracket at this point, but honestly, I kind of like it because that just means that this tournament is so much stronger than I was expecting. Because in any collegiate scene, there's always that risk of you get like one good team and a bunch of mediocre teams, but in this one, with teams this good being down in the bottom, it means that every team here is so good. So really feels good to see that, and looking forward to some great games.
Yeah, there's pretty much an NASL player on almost every team still in the tournament except for GMU, or kind of SLU, but SLU is a bit more debatable. But GMU getting an upset over SLU, big deal. But moving on to our next game, SLU versus UCLA. We see the map picks here. Team 1 UCLA picked Atlas Lab. We've seen this team play it a lot. They're probably gonna. They brought out the Luna Drakkar forward duo before. They played that in NASL. Vermella and 3Z Breezy, no stranger to the lab. But IME's app is actually something that the soon debut strikers used to permaban. So SLU picking that up for map 2 should be a pretty good pick for them.
Yeah, and if you like seeing blood, then IME's app is the map for it. It is just kills 24/7 there, probably the most kill map, depending on how it's played. So really looking forward to seeing that come out.
Yeah, I'm expecting this to go to game 3, but we'll have to see. I really believe in the UCLA boys. I'm really close friends with 3Z and Vermella, so I'm going to be a little bit biased and rooting for them. But I do know, like yesterday was a bit of a weird day for them. They had to deal with a few things. Water Fury is not in LA right now. It's actually on the East Coast for a wedding and had to be subbed out for a few games, but has got his situation situated and should be on a pretty good setup for this tournament and has been practicing on it as well.
Cool. So we're going to have Water Fury here in this game confirmed?
Yep, his confirmed will not be Balix, but shout out to Balix.
Yeah.
Was able to pull it off yesterday. I'm sure a lot of people saw that insane set 5.5 yesterday.
Yeah, no, that was such a fun game to cast. Balix was really putting in the work. Such a good defensive duo with Vermella. They're just really clicking in, and you don't really see that from subs as often because usually the sub doesn't have the opportunity to play with the main team as much, and doesn't have the opportunity to really build that teamwork, but seeing that out of both of them was really cool. But now we're going to see Water Fury on that, the starter, so it can only be up from there, so we're going to see how that goes.
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact, Water Fury has been scrimming with this team a lot. They are always working together. Water Fury is honestly super motivated, is always asking for scrims, always trying to get scrims running, and let's see if it pays off on Atlas's lab.
Really getting into this. Potential Kai goalie there on Zoro. Pretty nice just have a range on Atlas's lab. Hold it down goalies are pretty nice and all, but if you can't reach across the field, then it can be a little more difficult to get some of those things. They're going to ban out probably looking like 3Z Breezy's Luna, who absolutely crushed it yesterday. So sadly not going to get to see that, but probably better for their team there.
Yeah, we see the Rasmus band come out targeting Coin, kind of the signature pick. Coin kind of filling in, played with Zoro in NASA, the Tier 2 league for Omega Strikers, and was able to get some pretty good, was able to get some cool wins and had a really good, impressive performances on that Rasmus. So just kind of getting rid of that and giving Coin less sort of carry potential and taking the team out of their comfort zone is a really good idea here. Zoro picking this Kai that's been... Zoro... Some people have claimed Zoro to be a bit of a Kai one trick, but that's just not really true. Has the Dubu in the back pocket, but doesn't really have many eject goalies, something Water Fury can bring out later. But for now, we're going to see the Mako. Mako now X, pretty good combo. X, this patch, really not seem to be as strong, but when you're playing in collegiate and the opponents aren't playing damage, you're kind of able to pick X more often, especially when something like a BD start where you can justify it with that size.
And also, especially if you have that now in the midfield to give you the health and to help augment your combos with the secondary. Also really nice there, piercing shot from Trademark to get that barrier. So 1 barrier to 1 barrier here. So Nash is trying to beat up the goalie now. They're waiting on the orb. A little handshake there.
So I think the most interesting part of this game is looking at like where are the gaps going to be between the players. Because in Collegiate, you tend to see that a lot. And one big one, sad boys, is going to be Grimella versus Trademark, and the other one could be Water Fury versus Zoro, as we see there. But if Trademark is able to get goals like that to kind of equivalate that imbalance of playing against an NASL midfielder when you haven't even participated in NASA really yet, where Water Fury has, on the other hand, like a top 8 S tier finish at the Phoenix LAN in person, and while Zoro
Coin
being a tier 2 monster himself. But yeah, Coin off the table is going to mean an instant power play. Breezy Breezy has the core in front of the goal, but Zoro is going to use that flip to get it out and stall a little bit longer. But Grimella having this flip is going to make it almost inevitable that second offensive play will come up soon. Grimella passes to Breezy, but Zoro covers the shot from Breezy with the barrage. Grimella now moving back, Water Fury getting it forward, using the piercing shot from Trademark, try to keep it up, but if it gets past, it gets so much more scarier. Unless Zoro has barrage up, it's just not really much that can be done. But Breezy Breezy is going to get the shot off, once again blocked by the barrage, but with the barrage down, they're looking for their time to shine. With no barrage up, this should go in, and it does. Grimella with a nice shot to get it in.
Yeah, Zoro's really been on point with these barrages. There's even one time on an earlier shot, Breezy Breezy hit it a little bit too low to go in the goal. I had to trying to dribble it around to wait out the barrier, to bait the barrage and then wait it out. But Zoro even predicted that and had the barrage go a little bit further out there. So really good play there. But the dull barricade from 3Z. Caster cursing the goalie. My bad, Zoro. Talking about how great the defense is, and then unfortunately giving 3Z the power spike there. Core flip available for... I was gonna say core flip available for him, but instantly killed. I just need to stop talking about individual players here, because that was just really good by UCLA. Even with the goalie going down, 3Z's able to handle it all.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. Water Fury gets KO'd by the dash punch, and it just doesn't matter. 3Z has the Slick Kicks X. It's going to have a little bit more speed when controlling that core, where Coin has the pummelers to get those KOs. So we can see 3Z having more ways to contain the core, though, once we get it forward. So once UCLA has that core up, it's just a lot more scary, more SLU, but there's both barriers taken out by this NASL forward duo once again. Now Grimella has the flip, is going to use it immediately to dime up 3Z, but no cooldowns ready in order to stun Zoro to get that one through. And once again, Zoro's going to clear it out, and Coin's going to finish off the KO. Now it's a power play instead for SLU, but Trademark taking that damage is really, really scary. Grimella can find some sort of combo, or when 3Z comes back up, they can just charge Trademark and they can get their own power play going, and that'll be really good for them, but we'll have to see if Grimella doesn't score before that happens.
We see that Coin and Trademark are both very low here. Coin even trying to get the kill on the 3Z there, walking too close to the edge, but 3Z knows his distance a little bit better there. That is Sharon very low there, almost dead. Black Hole did not pop in time. So going to be staying alive for now on that stagger. Red core out of Water Fury. We are in overtime there, and Mako passive is pretty good. The 3Z ult not getting too much value there, just kind of buying a little bit of time. Core flip out of Zoro, though, going to buy even more time. Grimella getting hit. Coin has the core flip there, doesn't go near another, keeping it away from Coin, away from that core flip. Grimella's keeping it along the bottom. 3Z Breezy hits it up to the top, and it goes in. Ricochet off the top. Great pass from Grimella, and great keeping it away from Coin there. Because if it gets too close, he core flips, and that's not quite the game, but that's going to be a lot more difficult to deal with. So Grimella on that MVP has many options here. Fight or flight, team player, stagger, swagger. Sad to see the 3 sparks, because that means you'll only get 3 sparks total, even if you get every other spark in the draft. Gonna get the fight or flight, though, really good pickup. Stagger, swagger on Kai. If you're playing against any damage comp, it's just so good, and as well, the speed is amazing. This is, again, pre-nerf stagger, swagger, so it's really good. Demo, size on X, really good. Team player Mako is probably one of her best awakenings. Passive team players red core, even out of overtime. When you're just in a normal game. So it's really good there. And a Spark of Agility going with Coin, looking to get that Spark of Strength later, just getting the speed to navigate around the map. So good pickups from everyone all around, I think. The Spark is a little bit weaker than normal, but it's still pretty strong. So looking forward to see how that builds up.
Yeah, getting that Spark is going to be the big imbalancer in this draft, but we see the size increase from 3Z actually almost working a little bit negatively as too much damage falls upon him and he's immediately KO'd at the start of the round. But Grimella having this fighter flight gives so much carry potential, and if later in the game Grimella's able to pick up quick strikes, it's just going to be so hard to stop. We see Grimella even in the power play just able to control the core all by himself, and now it's just going to be able to do it again. A Coin taking a lot of damage from 3Z coming up. Trademark though getting that last barrier to equalize, but it's still just really scary. On the open net, although Mako is worse, Grimella is just going to have so much presence with his fighter flight and ability to just walk through the entire team. Again, like you really want to worry about this midfield imbalance, because Grimella being an NASL player versus Trademark, who doesn't have nearly as many tournament results that are non-collegiate, it's going to be something that's scary. And 3Z getting the ball there, Grimella able to TP up to help pass to 3Z, and 3Z's going to hit it in.
Yeah, was almost a little awkward there from 3Z, not expecting the overtime red core with the pass from Mako, so tried to dribble it up into the corner, but the strike was not back up in time. But you have Grimella, who's, you know, a half-decent midfielder. You know, they're not... no, they're really good, and so they are 100% guaranteed to get you that core. So, well played there. Coin and 3Z kind of duking it out in the goalie box there, and both staggered, kind of beating each other up on the edge of a cliff there, just trying to see who falls first. But so far, neither of them is the answer to that question.
Yeah, 3Z is able to hang on, but doesn't really need that stagger. It's just able to break it through. Grimella hitting it to the corner and 3Z collapsing. It's just a tried and true method of finding these goals, and it's been replicated so far by UCLA over and over. It's becoming really rough for SLU. Maybe they're having an off day today, but that's the immediate double barrier from Grimella, and now it's looking like we might be heading to the next set already.
Yeah, it's looking really strong for UCLA here. I mean, you have that size on X, and 3Z Breeze is already really good at those strike wars. But a barricade going down means it's 2 open goals. Corporate forward, Zoro is able to catch it, teleports down to sort of get his own pass there. Piercing shot means that 3Z Breeze is low, but you don't need to have health to score a goal. And that size on the X means that even if you try to get it through him, you're not getting it through him all the way most of the time. So really good there. And Grimella, MVP again, just has so much core control. Seed Machine is nice on now.
Quick
Among
strikes.
Titans as well for the speed, and Quick Strikes, of course, is very good too. Even a heavy impact to deny the Juliet wouldn't be the worst, but so many good options here for that now. Gonna go with Quick Strikes, of course. Very good in those strike wars in mid. Recovery Drone, deny onto the X, and also just nice to have that extra life. Zoro taking the Among Titans, making his forwards a little bit more buff. I usually don't like it as much on goalie, but he, of course, knows a lot more than me, and, of course, speed is pretty good on Kai, so I can kind of see it. Don't need as much size with the barrage.
Zoro already has BD, so you're not even really losing that much size. If any, you're kind of just going back to your default. So being really fast, especially if it's a eject button that Zoro has, that he hasn't really been able to utilize offensively very much this game. It's just been kind of forced to play defense, but maybe with this KO, they'll be able to find a way up further and use that eject button in order to find something like a power play. It's kind of one of the problems with eject button is that here we see it now. Even if you go up, if you just have mom boots, you can do a lot of the same plays and still move back and just maintain your speed. But having that little bit of CDR on your secondary can be a little bit helpful. But this time it's going to be a power play for UCLA. If they can get the barriers back in return, that'd be huge. But Zoro using that eject button in order to move up and prevent any attempt on the barriers is huge. But now Grimella starting the offense once again and immediately is able to get both barriers despite the power play ending. And 3Z's going to put it in. Just this quick strikes fighter flight picked up by Grimella, especially if the timeless creator start, just to have the larger secondary. Just means insane speed from Grimella that can't be contested by anyone except Zoro right now. But even Zoro is just so much more riskier to have to like fight against Grimella in the midfield as the goalie than just having your midfielder do that work for you.
And it seems that they've kind of switched a little bit there. Zoro overstayed the eject button, I believe, on purpose, and then Trademark falls back. Great midfield communication there to allow Zoro. Oh, but Zoro dies there. Great kill flip out of 3Z Breezy. And a barrier, though, even in the power play, the 2v3 without the goalie, Coin just going to take a barrier there. Coin just hitting it to neutral territory there, just keeping it. It hits it towards the side of the field, but does keep it in the open. Zoro playing up again so far. Coin almost dash punching it through the Grimella, but not quite able to secure that. Grimella has the corp in front of the goal, is going to use it and is not going to get it through. Great defense there by Zoro and Trademark. Coin still just brawling with the now, waiting for the core to get over there. Ooh, the piercing shot backwards into the goal, not helping. Was an attempt to stun on the X, I believe, just to try and keep him from striking, because 3Z Breezy is probably going to win the strike war anyways, but definitely not what you want to see either, the piercing shot hitting the core too.
Yeah, I was saying, I was worried this game would just be a midfield gap, and Gramella's level 8 while Trademark's level 5. Again, I just gonna keep talking about Fight or Flight quick strikes, because this patch, it is just insane. It just gives you so much more presence, and when you're playing in like solo queue especially, it feels like the game, you can just like 1v9 the entire game, but 3Z has been playing so well as well, able to get both barriers, and is about to hit it in, but Trademark with the defense, able to keep the core alive, and the game going, but has the flip. Trademark and Coin both on death's door. Is not the spot you want to be in when you're on map point. But 3Z Breezy looking for the pass, looking for a way to use his flip in order to get it in, but the flip is not going to end up in any sort of offensive pressure. And now it's Zoro with the energy advantage, but Grimella with the quick strikes getting a little bit more energy per strike, is going to get that flip up now. He's going to look for the pass to 3Z, but Zoro's going to be able to flip the intercept. Water Fury trying to hold just to keep up this offense, use this power play they have now in order to get this last score. The back pass to Water Fury, the team player proc, the restrike reset from 3Z will not hit it in. Coin using Dash Punch just to keep the core alive. Trademark back online. It's possible that a goal could be scored, but Water Fury has a great hold. Now 3Z looking for a goal, but it's going to be Grimella who mixes up Zoro and takes the first map in the dominant 3-0.
Yeah, great play there from UCLA. I mean, you're saying midfield gap, yeah, Grimella gap. It just felt so. I mean, the three-peat MVP there. 3Z was great. Don't get me wrong. Forward pressure is very important. Won so many strike wars in front of the enemy net. But he's not going to win any strike wars in the net if the core isn't there. And that's what Grimella was ensuring. 140 redirects, more than anyone else in the game, by a pretty fair margin there. The next highest is their goalie, and that's still 20 below. And almost as much as the two people on his team combined, 70 and 70 roughly. So just really good play from Grimella there, keeping it on the side of the field that is not their own, on SLU's side, just making sure that, I mean, Water Fury barely touched the core that game, it seems. You know, even when Coin kills Water Fury in this clip, it doesn't even feel like he's there because Grimella is just so good at playing that super forward goalie, just not even having to worry about it at all.
Yeah, just almost twice the redirects of Trademark from Grimella. It's kind of something you expect there to be like slightly more redirects when you're playing now into Estelle, and Estelle to be able to help out on scoring more. But when you're playing Estelle Julie, this is kind of a good reason why they also banned Erasmus. Means that Coin can't come back to help out in the midfield as much, and kind of has to commit to be this brawler with the pummelers, and can't just play second midfield. So Trademark's kind of left alone. Zoro has to help out and be that duo, but just the defensive pressure holds just weren't there against Grimella and 3Z. Their offensive plays were just too well coordinated. Water Fury able to buff them up, as you see sometimes too, just to keep that speed. And when you have Grimella have a now secondary and plus that Mako speed plus quick strikes, fight or flight, slick kicks, you just kind of become an unstoppable force, and that's exactly what happened. In 9-1 game, Water Fury is no longer on packet loss.
Yeah, and it's another thing as well where generally X comps are scaling comps, because X is usually not as strong at first and then gets stronger as the game goes on. So, you know, it's one of those ones where you might take the first set or two and then you get to third set and suddenly X is just brawling you in your goal and you can't do anything about him. But in this time, I mean, I don't know if it was the now Mako combo just helping the X to be strong in that early game, or it's just 3Z himself just being 3Z, but that X looked dominant through and through without any weakness in the early game at all. So
yeah,
good play there.
Yeah, no damage once again. Like usually X was kind of like never picked in NASL and stuff like that, because it felt like you couldn't pick it. It felt like if you picked X, your opponents would just pick Zentaro, or wow, the Luna ban again. That's really interesting. But Rasmus banned it once again from Coin. We got a repeat pretty much of what we got last time. But I don't know if I've seen 3Z play Luna on this map before, so maybe there's some weird scrim stuff going on, or maybe they have been picking it more. But now we see Coin on the Drakkar, which is kind of a miniature Rasmus in a way. But now what's Kazan, another really good combo. Kazan and Zentaro being the brawlers of this patch, kind of having absolute dominance over all the other ones. But on this map, you can kind of see Julie and Drakkar be a little bit more effective because you can get KOs a lot more consistently with that middle hole. But we'll have to see. It's a primetime start. Everyone taking it except Zoro, who took extra special. And Zoro on this Dubu is going to be really, really good at holding it down. I've played against it before, and it is really annoying to play against.
Let's hope so we get a nice long game here. It is so nice to see long games. Even the last game, though it was a little short, we saw a lot of great plays from both sides, so I'm looking to see more of that here. Trademark running it back on the Estelle, just the comfort pick there, and decent on Imizep as well. Not really for the kills as well, although you can do a bit of brawling, but just really good to be able to teleport around and just mix them up. But this Water Fury on with this Atlas, just putting actually so much forward pressure, which you don't usually expect, but a lot of these primaries are really good from to just keep the core.
There's the res from Water Fury, getting 3C back up. It's kind of weird because 3C will be this looming threat for the rest of the game of will 3C get enough damage to just be able to KO Zoro at any time. Because once that happens, then they have a clear win con. But right now, it's just going to be pretty hard for 3C to get anything. You don't really have many good scoring tools, but sometimes you don't need a brawler. Sometimes the midfielder just gets it done. Grimella just cooks Zoro and then flips it in right after solo. Does it just Grimella lore? I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, that was just so clean there. Now to a T. I mean, just using the secondary to bounce it around, and then has the core in front of the goal for 50-50 against the goalie. There's not a whole lot you can do with Zoro but cry there. So really well played.
Yeah, this got the play. Oh, went for a little KO. If you saw that. That's kind of interesting. Is that although Drakkar should be better at that, of finding these KOs through the middle, as soon as Grimella has flip, it's really, really scary. It can just be a KO at any point, so watch out for that.
And another really interesting thing is that Grimella and 3Z actually both took slick kicks, whereas Coin took the pummelers. That's another reason Drakkar should be getting these kills, and the fact that he's not getting the kills is actually really hurting them, because if you take pummelers, you need the kills to get that speed and to just even up the game. And if you're not getting the value off of pummelers, then you should have just taken slick kicks or something else to help get those kills. And it's something you can really only see in hindsight, so I don't blame him for it, but you really have to be getting these kills on that Drakkar. It's going to be a sad game.
But on that same note, I think it's a little questionable to take this primetime. Another goal from Grimella, by the way. Just great collapse from 3Z and Grimella. Everything's covered. It will hit that one in. But it's just weird to take the primetime on Drakkar here when extra special is up, and that's how you get your KOs. Is you ult primary someone into a wall, and then you use that. Your pummeler is going to help that. But instead, you have primetime, which actually makes yourself weaker. And wow, just shakes him off. Just Grimella just absolutely gets hit with two abilities, and then they just KO Coin. That was really funny. Kind of looks like holding up the toddler. I don't know.
Yeah, now early game is really strong. Just has so much damage. 3Z though killing Zoro there, finally finding that Kazan value and hooks it into the barricade as well. 3Z's back. Okay, he took a game off, a couple points off to give Grimella another chance to shine. But is now back in full force, using the power play, not quite able to get it. Zoro's back, gets across the top. Strike shot from Water Fury misses and hit around the barricade. The Dubu actually working against SLU here, but so far the defense is strong enough to live. Trademark passing it up to Coin. Strike shot again. Water Fury misses the secondary and the primary there. All of his abilities on cooldown, but Grimella has that primary and 3Z's at the top as well, so there's nothing getting past this midfield, even still. And it's just so difficult for SLU to clear. And there's an Estelle going down as well. Really opportune arrow there from now, and a pass from Water Fury to Grimella. Grimella with the hat trick there. All 3 goals this set, just really well played.
Yeah, I did not. I'm gonna.
And Monu as well.
I don't want to flame too hard, but this was a weird ban to let Grimella get this now. That's just perma banned from him, and even Nassel because of how good he is on the pick. But instead, it's just kind of given free reign of it. It's going to get Monumentalist in the first draft, and it's going to be rough.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, I can kind of understand it, where against a player as good as Grimella, you ban the now, and yeah, Grimella doesn't play now, but Grimella is still Grimella no matter what character he plays, so you're still going to have a hard time. But I can just imagine the faces of SLU going into that first draft, seeing now first pick, and seeing that it's a Monumentalist, and you're just like, well, I guess I'm dead.
Yeah, that sucks. And I would agree with you. I definitely agree with you generally on that point, on Grimella just being able to play another character really well, but they banned Luna. Like, why are they worried about 3Z picking Luna on Ivy's app? They must just have some like weird sort of mental block versus Luna or something like that, causing them to do something like that. But on the bright side, Zoro having quick strikes means saves like that can happen. Just it's going to be even harder to break through. But 3Z getting the bonus size means a little bit more scoring, means those extra primaries that he has are going to be even larger in range. And like, so more KOs are likely to happen, but it doesn't matter if you get the damage off, if Strike Shotgun exists, as Coin's able to finally find that goal.
Potentially the momentum swing back to SLU here. They gave up a game, they gave up a set, but now they take a point. Now they might be able to do something here. And Grimella's not going to make it easy, and has that level 5 advantage, highest in the game, by a fair margin. But Zoro is going to handle it. Just going to hang out for a second. Stuns it up. Has that Corf available as well. Use the hot dog there to slide it across the top. And 3Z is just continuously able to find these closed form strikes to nowhere. Ooh, great shot from Zoro, though, hitting it all the way around the barricade, the map, and then behind the barricade. And 3Z does the same there. Not quite the long shot angle, but still it gets it behind the barricade, and you can't really clear that too very easily. So really good shots there. Doom Particle Accelerator, bouncing against the wall there for a little bit. And, ooh, Trademarks misses the Crystal Thorns there, a little unfortunate. Water Fury gonna have to core flip there, sends it across the map, trying to buy time here. Now it's actually UCLA on the back foot. They're struggling to clear it, and that's 3Z Breezy getting killed. Never mind. Gonna be a power play there. They get to shove on forward. Grimella just misses the primary, but honestly it feels like a feint to get Zoro to play up a little bit so you can use the secondary there with the Monumentalist, which is just so brutal.
Like, I am looking forward to the 9 goals from Grimella this game. I want to see it so bad. I want to see it. Ping 3Z say Brawler's getting it done. Like, average Brawler getting it done. A phrase that he likes to say quite a lot. But I mean, 3Z's doing his job for sure. He's getting the barriers very often, as we see right there. He's also getting the KOs, all super important for this team's success. But Grimella's just been able to find these finishing plays just that much more often, and just kind of been a problem in general this game. We just see the raw flip to get the KO there, and then 3Z is going to hook it for the first goal of the match. But great setup from Grimella into a great shot by 3Z Breezy.
And importantly, 3Z Breezy doesn't even have to use the core flip there. So Grimella sees that 3Z has the core flip, so they have the advantage there. They have that extra power, so can just use it for the kill flip, not even worrying about that. Just a really good advantage. Grimella, though, looking very low. I believe already used the secondary, so doesn't have that available. But there is... Nope, there's the secondary now. There's an orb. The barricade does go down there because they were on that back foot there. Zoro has the core flip to potentially counter 3Z's. Crystal Thorn's going to miss again. Trademark just not quite hitting these, but it doesn't matter. Coin is able to get it with the strike. I don't even know if the shotgun hit there, or if it was just the strike alone, but does manage to get past Water Fury finally. And it's one of those things where, you know, once you get up to these higher levels, a lot of the goalie defense starts in the midfield, which is why it's so difficult for SLU to score, because you have to get it past Grimella in order to score. So once you get it past Grimella, it almost feels like it's too easy. And speaking getting it past Grimella there, Zoro just hitting these crazy angles into those corners, knows this map so well to get those consistently. It's so difficult because you're like a degree off on that angle and it goes completely wide. But just so good there. And Coin just getting bullied by everyone on the team, even the goalie. And Grimella getting a barrier there. 3Z's looking very low though, but never mind. He has 2 healers on his team and orbs, so Grimella using the flip there. 3Z Breezy getting a kill on the bottom though, and it's on UCLA's side for just a second, and now it's back on SLU's, and Grimella is just kind of dribbling across the top. 3Z Breezy hits it backwards with the ultimate there. Zoro is very low, getting bullied in his own goal, potentially gonna die, not quite manages to bottom. Trademark steals the orb from Zoro! It just had to move there, and you can't not pick up the orb if you move over it, but that just means the goalie's going to keep on getting involved. Hot Dog is really good there. Shotgun comes out, misses, and then Zoro trying to defend, but the now primary into the hook from Kazan there just means you cannot clear. If you clear it to the right, you're clearing into Grimella. If you clear it up top, you're going into 3Z, who has hook no matter where you put it anywhere near him. And that is now potentially getting Hot Shot, Siege Machine, Stagger Swagger, Built Different, Spark of Focus, Explosive Entrance, even not the worst, Deadeye as well. Just, it's a now paradise. I'm thinking it's Stagger Swagger. Yep.
It's definitely Stagger Swagger. We saw in the one round where we saw SLU have a lot of success, or have a pretty dominant round at least, was the round where they were able to chunk Grimella really hard at the beginning, and Grimella forcing Grimella to play back, and they were able to get the barrier off of that. So now that Grimella has Stagger Swagger, it's going to be even harder to do that than it was before. At least Coin, though, is scaling with the Sparks a little bit. That will be a bit useful, kind of negating the loss of power you got from taking Prime Time on your primary. But it just might not matter. Good hold from Zoro, but it's getting really, really scary with this Kazan scaling in size. And just the huge primaries and strike hitboxes are going to be really, really hard to defend against.
Yeah, but bigger hitbox does mean also that you can take hits more easily. So Freezy Breezer's at half health there, but again, he's got 2 healers. He's going to use the close form to just strike it through Zorlig's arm there. Coin, great kill though onto Grimella. Grimella caught slacking and Trademark instantly capitalizes. Just goes right through Water Fury there. It's one of those things where, and it's not even just a Water Fury isn't as good as Grimella angle. It's just when you're a goalie and you're against the enemy forward and they can do whatever they want because you don't have that midfield presence, it's almost impossible to defend. So as soon as Grimella's out of the equation, these forwards are good enough to know how to play against a single goalie sitting in his goal.
Yeah. I like to joke with Water Fury a lot and just say he's nervous all the time. So he's, yeah, I'm definitely looked a little nervous on that one. Striking a little bit too early, missing the primary without his homie Grimella gone. But there's the KO. Doesn't have an Atlas, doesn't have a Now. You have no way of dealing with this damage that just comes mainly from Kazan and the Monumentalist now as well now. But this barrier will be taken despite the quick strikes. And now the flip is off, and it's going to go right through Coin. And Grimella with another goal. And also just getting the barrier pretty much solo. I mean, 3Z like not doing nothing, like covering the cross the whole time so that they're forced to ping pong into Grimella, which is why that play was able to happen. But Grimella just like knowing that your midfielder is good enough to hold that is really good. But there we go, another KO from Coin on the Grimella is super important because that's how this team is going to win this game if they can. It's through these KOs from the Drakkar. As the Drakkar is scaled, 144 power now, we see these KOs start to come out.
Yeah, and absolutely, if SLU can win this set, there's a fair chance they take the game with the Spark scaling on Coin. So just going to be really important to look out for that, but they have to win this, and that's both goals open. Now Grimella's back on the field, level 9. Again, has a full level on the enemy goalie, who's the next highest in the game. So that's just brutal there. The primary is really good for him now. 3Z Breezy has the corp from the top side of the map, going to hook on a corp in front. Corporal Parry fails off the Dubu and just goes down to the bottom past Trademark, who's just a little out of position there. Not even really out of position, but just not perfectly psychically sensing where the core was going to go, because it's just so difficult to predict where it's going to go there. The core flip parry is also tragic, because not only do you not have, you lose the point, but you also don't have your core flip anymore, so it was a good try by Zoro, but unfortunately not going to pan out there. And now Grimella has core flip, so oof.
Yeah. It's a little rough, but 3Z with the hook is going to win the whole game, by the way. Like, we're just over. That's 2-0. Not a single set lost. Great last 2 points by 3Z. The second to last point, just able to contain that core, able to find that shot. Just playing super patiently against Zoro, because there's no way you're going to break it directly through. So 3Z just playing really, really patiently on that, like the point before, gets the insane flip angle off, and then this point just finds Zoro in the spot, predicts the strike, and then uses the hook strike to just hit that in out of nowhere. And that's a really dominant performance from UCLA against the first seed and one of the favorites in this tournament. Has like SLU just out so early in the tournament. It's just it's like I can't even call it an upset, because I just know how good UCLA is and how I really truly believe that they should be able to show performances like this against any of the other collegiate teams when they're playing their best, which I really feel like they were in that match. But losers round 5, SLU going out is still just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, SLU is such a good team. They like even against UCLA, it didn't seem close a lot of the time, but a lot of the time we were seeing that they were good at the game. They played a lot of things really well. It's just UCLA was better at the end. Just able to play that kill comp better, able to stay alive more, able to capitalize on that midfield pressure more. So really just SLU falling here, like you're saying. It's shocking that SLU's out of the tournament already. But UCLA is going for the sad boys run. You know, they lost, they fell into the losers bracket, and then in the game I cast yesterday, they lost game 1, took the next 2. So it seems like they're just kind of warming up. So at this rate, they're just going to be going on, playing flawless games through the grand finals, and coming up to win the tournament potentially.
Yeah, they will. They still have a mountain to climb, though. That just being the first step, which is like it's a big first step, though. SLU was supposed to be at the end of the climb, but it's gonna be at the start. So next up, they will have to either play against the winner of NJIT or UTD. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be UTD. Right now, it's twitch.tv/Striker Central. You should definitely check out that match right now, since that's where we'll be heading you guys to next. But NJIT currently down 1-0 against UTD, and UTD winning right now 1-0, and just got another point. So we'll see. I'm expecting UTD. I think everyone was expecting either UTD or even if UTD won, for Lakeland to kind of be in this spot. So UTD being here is going to probably be the fun for UCLA. But if NJIT can pull up an upset, that would be pretty crazy. They're a very solid team, but they just don't have like the powerhouse players that all of the top other teams have.
Yeah, and really once you get up to this level, it's not just about being a solid team, it's about being able to capitalize on the few mistakes that your opponent makes, because you know, when your opponent only makes a few mistakes in a point, you have to be able to capitalize on them, or you're not going to get it past them. So you have to be able to find those opportunities, and I think that is a lot of the difference between even in the one we just saw, UCLA versus SLU, where, you know, if SLU made a mistake, UCLA was instantly punishing it. And so that really just becomes the way to win, not just being good, but being able to capitalize when they are bad.
Yeah, definitely agree. But we will be going to a break soon. That is then UCLA will be on a break as well. I'm sure they'll be watching this game as well on Striker Central. It's a good one either way. It's going to be interesting because it looks like it's going to be two teams with very dominant performances playing against each other up next. But we'll see. Just keep your eyes peeled. And I believe that, yeah, that'll be all from us. Thanks for watching. Don't go anywhere.